Hi, welcome to On the Stack. I am Victor. This is Tony. It's brought to you by Gamer's Edge and GETV. And today we're going to talk about the latest SCG Open that happened in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about some of the top 8 stuff. If we can, we're going to talk about the iQ top 8 that actually happened here last Saturday on here in Gamer's Edge. We're going to talk about some of that stuff. And if we can, we're going to give you a sweet treat, and we're going to give Tony a 60-second rant, and we're going to see where that goes. So right off the bat, we're just going to dive right back into it, all right? And last Saturday on the 6th, I believe it was, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, on the 6th, SCG ran an Open, standard. And the top 8, we were looking at it, it's kind of interesting. A lot of repeated cards is the first thing that I see when I look at all the lists. There's a lot of repeated cards. I don't know if it is because they're really good or it's just relevancy or do people copy everybody. I don't know. It's kind of strange. There's a lot of aggro in the top 8 as well. So?
I believe what happened is we are so used to checking Star City Open tournaments every weekend to see what minor changes occurred in Jund or what blue-white control list ended up with what crazy main board card that gave them the slight edge in a format that there was 26 playable cards. So
True.
I think when you have that going on there, we're still early in a Theros format where we don't have this broken set of cards available to us that we know of yet. So there's people who can afford or are too afraid to try new things, especially at this early in the season, and they don't have the testing. So they're like, rush with mono red, rush with green white aggro. These decks were decks we knew about going into it. These decks got very little boost, but the boosts that they got were so good that they had to run them. And I think that it just ended up being that, like, that's where we were. I just think that people built decks. We saw a little bit of like new ingenuity, like, oh, let's try this list. But like, I just think that people are undervaluing good cards right now at the cost of not taking chances.
Not taking the chance.
And we're going to go over the deck lists. And I mean, listen, the players were absolutely great. I cannot take a thing away from the players.
How many people it was? It was a 10-rounder, so it was
a 10-round tournament. It was like 600
people.
maybe.
So I mean, if you got a top 8, you earned it. You put in the footwork. You did good.
And I think it's fine.
You're gonna have a lot of haters now because everyone's gonna be like, "Fuck you!" I was fucking top 8, right?
I'm just gonna say at the beginning of the last format when what was that? Ravnica came out. The tournament that won was, I think Todd Anderson with like Blue White Miracles, and at the end of the tournament, if I tried to run Blue White Miracles, I would have been laughed out of the sand. Like, it went to show you that like that was a deck that was powerful then, and then the format kind of stabilized, and I think that's where we are right now. So taking nothing away from the people that played these decks, they were great players. I watched the top 8 later in the day. Sunday. I watched that Sunday because I was actually judging the event here.
Yeah,
but I watched it, and I watched them play, and they were just some really good players, and they were making the right decisions. So there's nothing against the players. I feel like the decks were terrible. Like the actual the
construction,
the decks that weren't the established green, white, or mono red decks, and even them, I don't really like them. I just feel like everyone else didn't even try to beat them. They're like, yeah, this card I guess can be okay, but they got the top 8.
Okay, so like the funny thing about all the cards that were in the top 8. So let's just go over the list real quick, right? So first place was green white aggro. Okay, there was actually 2 green aggro lists, one in first place and one in last place. And the list in 8th place. I'm sorry, I don't mean last place.
They probably won in last place too. It was that guy who just couldn't make it.
You know what? Maybe. So
didn't have the duels.
The lists are a little different, but the core of the list is exactly the same.
Yeah.
Which is there's experiment 1s in it. There's Lockdown Smiters in it. Is that correct? There's definitely voices. There
was no Lockdown Smiters in
the first list.
In the one that won, yeah, it was running Boon Satyr instead.
Well then, I mean, there's Smiter all over the top 8 anyway, so maybe I'm just an asshole. So, Lion, Fleet Slave Lion is definitely up there. We see repeated throughout some of the other decks. The Lion's repeated in some of the other decks. The Smiter, as I was saying before, I messed up. Top 1 didn't have it. I guess that's the difference. But Smiter's definitely in the top list. Voice is a money card.
Yeah.
Top money card, really good. Affects everybody. I mean, you put one out, you kind of cry, you shed a little bit of tears, especially if you're playing control, and you want to go kill yourself. But There's the Boone Satyr, which is really interesting. I'm actually kind of interested that card is being played.
But no, what? No.
I have a love-hate relationship with that card.
The card's amazing.
I think the card is really, really good. I don't want to play it for its bestow cost.
I bought 10 foils.
I'm just an asshole.
I bought 10 foils when it came out. This card's amazing.
Currently 10 foils, okay.
There were $5 a foil. They're going to be more.
One Tristani, which I kind of like. It kind of pushes out. I feel like that was really good, and that's what kind of gave him the hedge against.
This is what gave him the edge. It was the 3 main board unflinching courage.
But the late game was really relevant to kind of push out all the other red decks. There was one mono red deck, and I think for the rest of the meta, we're gonna start seeing a lot of like the cheap mono red list. It is efficient.
Yeah.
It is.
It's cheap.
It's cheap. It's affordable.
And it has.
And it can win.
Somewhat reach.
But this list, I like this list. It has Advent of the Worm, really interesting. It has Root Bound Defenses, so fuck Supreme Verdict, I guess. Celestial Charm, High Ghost Dad. If you don't know what we're talking about, we're referring to Ob's dad. I call it Ghost Dad. He kind of goes to the office and comes back and beats his kids. That's a life game and then lose life.
Which screams Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby. I like Bill Cosby. Let's not hate. But yeah, Ghost Dad, abusive father. And Call the Conclave, which I am so happy that I see Call the Conclave in the list.
Bad cards are bad.
Fuck you, Tony. Call the Conclave is awesome. I've been saying this forever.
It won. So I can't say. What can I say?
The deck is good. The deck is pretty good.
This all I see when I look at this deck is I see like a Lightbane zombie would love this deck.
You know what? Can we bring up the 8th list and see what's the difference? And is there any real difference between it?
I think the 8th list was one of the stock lists from the previous.
Do you think so? I mean,
it was running the Smiters, the Fleece Main. It was actually running Boone Satyrs 2.
Also,
it ran God's Willing.
It was running the Smiter, but that first place was not running.
It ran a Johnny.
This list was running Elvis Mystic, which the one that won first place was actually running the Militant, the Dryad Militant, which was really, really strong.
Well, the Elvis Mystic, I guess it doesn't matter if your turn 2 play is a 3-drop. Be in this deck because your turn 2 play could be a 3/3 for 2 and then a 4. It doesn't matter. You have so much value in this that the Elvish Mystic was really just not. I know the guy who won Brian Garrett. He played a really good deck. I just don't think Elvish Mystic is where you need to be in a deck where you're capping out at 3-drop. Advent of the Worm is your drop card, but
so
also runs a Rogue's Passage, which is awesome.
There's Junk mid-range that got 2nd place. Yep. There's Naya Aggro that got 3rd place.
That's a whole bunch of
Mono Green got 4th. Mono Red got 5th. 6th, I'm sorry. Black White got mid. And then there's Italia. Black Red Blue. No. Black Red White. I'm sorry.
Which is just a black white. It was literally just a black white deck with an Aurelia. And
so a lot of the other lists are what I'm talking about. If it's running black, it was running demons, Desecration Demons. 4 mana for a 6 speeder. Eat your kids for tapping down. Gets bigger anyway.
If it was running black, it ran Blood Baron.
So a lot of the cards get repeated throughout the whole thing. There's a lot of Smiter. There's a lot of the Fleecebane Lion. A lot of Boris Reckoner in the red white list,
and in the
lots of voices, lots of Ghost Dad, just chilling, Blood Baron Vescova all over the place. A lot of these cards are in throughout the top 8.
We're seeing the same cards,
with the exception of the mono red list and a mono green list. Mono red list we kind of expect, but what about the mono green list?
Yeah, but the mono red list still had Boros Reckoner.
It did have Boros Reckoner,
and the mono green list still had where is it? The mono green list had Burning Tree Emissary, which is in the mono red list. Yeah, it had Experiment 1, which is in the green white list. Scavenging Ooze, which was in the junk list.
Boone Satyr. So a lot of repeated cards in this top list. It is very aggro heavy in this top list. We didn't see any control in the top list, which is kind of interesting. I felt control would be a lot better in this format.
Not yet. It's still an evolving format. Just look at the difference between the last weekend where the control decks were placed, Matt Steeds came in 2nd, and you had all the control list and then the Esper controller, Christian Calcano, and they had the decks that you didn't know what control was going to look like. Right. But then the aggro kind of shifted to other kinds of aggro. So as far as I know, people need to start looking at the new cards and not just how they supplement, like building stronger again. Like, yes, obviously that's good, and Blood Baron's good, but we just need to, like, I think that I said it before. I don't think it actually made it to the live, but I've said it before in one of the videos that we did before, and I'll say it again. I think Xenagos is a buy. Like, buy Xenagos, get them. I think that card's amazing. I think people are trying to think it's something that it's not. It's not Domri. It's not trying to be Domri. It's literally.
But it fits well with Domri anyway. It
can, but
anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I don't. But like it does. I think in that list you want Chandra. I think Chandra is better than Xenagos in the Domri list because Domri will draw you the creature, and Chandra could draw you an actual card or another chance at the creature. Xenagos just makes it. Either way, I think Xenagos is a really good card to build around. I think it's really good in like a Jund list, but that's what happens if I get a rant later. So.
Okay, so he had a little bit of a rant there, but.
No, that wasn't
shifting real quick into our IQ, it was a little bit different in our top 8.
Yeah.
For our associate IQ, we ran one last Saturday. That was October 5th.
Yeah. Same day as the Open. Just
same day as the
slightly
Open.
less prize support.
I mean, we had a good attendance, so nonetheless. Yeah. But ironically, we had a lot more control in our top 8.
We're in Jersey.
Monorail was control state. We did have the 2 green-white aggro lists, and ironically, in our IQ top 8.
The green-white
took it
one.
First place.
Very similar list.
Very similar list. Really ironic. We had Grixis Control.
We had a Grixis
was in the top 8, which is really interesting. I was really happy to see that.
It's just an Italia, and then we had 2 Italia lists.
2 Italia lists, which was
the Grixis Control was just the Italia lists with counters instead of like the other removal. So
yeah,
they played the same. They didn't have Blood Baron.
And second place went to Blue-White Control.
Blue-White Control, yeah. Blue-White Control. New Jersey is predominantly a control-based, like, the meta in New Jersey always ends up being control. Like, I've been playing here forever, and every time I go to a PTQ... Not
as much aggro in our...
Well, no, it's there, but, like, everyone wants to play control. Not even mid-range, it's just everyone wants to play control.
But there is a lot of mid-range. There's a lot of mid-range. There's a lot of control. Aggro doesn't get a lot of love in our state. At least not in this corner format. I mean, we're in Dirty Jersey, but yo, fuck you if you don't like us. I mean, that's how it is. But otherwise, you're watching us, and thus I love you. So, real quick, 60-second Tony fucking rant. Choose quickly. All right, ready? We got the timer? Mm-hmm. All right, go.
Okay, 3 Scavenging Ooze, 4 Sylvan Cavalry, 3 Whitebane Zombie, 4 Desecration Demon, 2 Reaper of the Wilds, and 3 Stormbright Dragons. This is a Jund list. I think we can do Jund again. I've been trying it for a while, and I think Reaper of the Wilds is amazing, and no one's looking at it. Everyone's like, yeah, whatever, we'll play like other 4-drops in the format, but it's literally Reaper of the Wild. Like, try it. The Scry is amazing. The Hexproof is amazing. It literally says board wipe me or don't bother. You get access to the best removal spells in the format right now. You get Abrupt Decay, which is absolutely phenomenal. Literally kills all the biggest problems in the aggro decks, and then kills the Planeswalkers like Ashiok and Domri that you really can't afford to deal with. You get access to Doomblade Dreadbore. You get access to Hero's Downfall. You get access to Putrefy. You get access to Mizium Mortars. You get to run Whip. You get to run Xenagos. And your mana base is actually not terrible.
I should fuck up. You're over.
Jund.
You're done. No,
Jund. Try Jund. That's my rant. Play Jund. Xenagos.
So, Jund apparently is what Tony wants to push. Little side note. Tony's a Jund player. So I don't fucking know where you want to go with that. Just saying. So, for today, it looks like that's all we can cover.
Yeah, sure.
So that's going to be a wrap. Apparently his phone agrees. He wants us to fucking peace out. It has been a pleasure. Again, this is On The Stack, presented to you by Gamer's Edge, GETV. I'm Victor. This is my boy Tony. And enjoy yourself. Hope you had a good time.